This webinar will demonstrate Q-Billing's dynamic user profiles. More specifically, the intent is to illustrate the ease of setting up users and the ability to dynamically accommodate changes in the business. This webinar will focus on two primary areas. The first area will look at dynamic updates, and the second area will focus on the ability to add and modify users. As it relates to dynamic updates, this test environment is showing information as it relates to Hyatt hotels. And so what we've done is we've basically uploaded all of the hotels for Hyatt throughout the world. We then broke those hotels up into regions. So we broke them up into three regions: Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and the Americas. Within Asia Pacific, we have the different countries, and within each country, we have the applicable hotels. So in this example, Asia Pacific, India, and India has a variety of Hyatt hotels that exist. If I go into a separate user, one of the things that I will see will be my user profile. So if I look at the user, let's say Russia, and if I go into Russia's profile, so Russia would say, I have access to Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Within Europe, Middle East, and Africa, I have access to Russia. And within Russia, I have access to one hotel. And as a user, this is telling me two primary items. The first thing is that it illustrates what raw data I will be able to see in all of my reports, what I will be able to access, and the information that will be available to me. So I'll have essentially access to a single hotel. The second thing that it illustrates, since this does not have a yellow check mark assigned next to a parent hierarchy, any new child within that parent hierarchy, I will not automatically gain access to that new data. So if we add new Hyatt hotels in Russia, this user would not automatically gain access to those new hotels. So if I go back and look at this user profile, we can do a variety of different things. So if we wanted to look at how to add and modify users, it's very easy in the application. So we've created a wizard, and if I want to create a new user, I can create a user. It might be, say, India. We have the ability to put in the email address, and it would say, how do I want to assign my access? So let's say I want to base it on one of my client profiles, and I would create a user. Once the user has been created, it's going to ask me what I want to assign access to that user. So for this India user, I can create a new user profile or copy an existing profile. So I'll go ahead and create a new user profile. It's based on, I'll create a new user profile. This new user profile is in India, so I'll say in Asia Pacific, I have a variety of hotels in India, and I'm going to give this access to India. It'll be a green check mark, which means any new hotel in India they automatically have. And so as this user profile, they could then log in. They could log in as India. India would have access to Asia Pacific. In India, a green check mark, and they'd have access to all those hotels, all the invoicing, showback statements, and so on and so forth. If I wanted to then go back into the application and create new users and make different changes, we can do that as well. So as an admin, I can go in and create a new user, just like we just did. I can copy a profile from one user to the next. So I could copy Russia and copy Russia's profile with India. And so we can quickly create new users based off of users that already exist. We could also copy a hierarchy profile. So I might want to copy India's profile for all of Indian Hyatt locations and copy that to another user. And then the last thing that we can do is we can modify the user profile. So when we look at user profiles, we're looking at a couple of different items. We have an admin profile, which allows users to have the ability to set up new hierarchies, to set up new users, to create transactions, to do the rating system. An admin can essentially do everything within your company to set up the environment to run your cost allocation system. We then have 3 different profiles based on where products and services are being delivered out of, what products and services are being delivered. So if you separate maybe your shared services by IT and HR and finance, you could create a user profile based on your portfolio of products and services. And then the third user profile is based on the clients that are consuming those products and services. Each of your profiles have two separate enhancements that can be applied. The first one would be the ability to create transactions. Essentially, you would have the ability to add new transactions into the database for any delivery location, any product and service, and any client that aligns to your user profile. The exact same thing happens on the financial role. It's not a matter of adding transactions, but it's looking at our rating systems. You can assign prices and rates to all of your different products and services, to those different products and services that align to your user profile. For example, if I wanted to look at all of my products and services, I might have a shared service organization, and within that, I am allocating costs assigned to information technology, finance, HR, and sales and marketing. I could assign a user profile for IT services, and regardless of what new IT services are added in the future, I could set it up for all of those users to automatically get access to the new IT services, or I could restrict them to individual items that align to their specific roles and responsibilities. And so we can do this across all of our different products and all of our different services. The same thing would be said for our delivery locations. So we may have IT services that are being delivered out of the Americas delivery organizations, out of Asia, out of Europe, and we may want those delivery organizations to have the ability to see how much revenue or relief is generated from the respective departments. And so regardless of what client or service consumes their products or services, they would be able to see all transactions associated with all clients as long as it was delivered out of their delivery location. So as you can see, our dynamic user profiles are extremely dynamic. As your business changes, we change with you automatically. As your new products and services are added, business rules are applied for all of your different users, and those are in turn enabled to see all the different reports. This concludes this webinar. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.